Welcome to the fifth week of Kindness and Gratitude Summit and Giveaway. Tony Kaufman is proud to bring this to you with Eric Zuli, Dr. Dante Sears, and Dr. Lisa Brewer. Now, this is the first premier event of the year. And this time we have world-renowned speakers for you, such as Bill Walsh, Kate Linder, Omar Periu, Christopher Salem, Tina D. Lewis, Ronnie Tsunami, Kimberly Crow, Darren Adams, and Deborah Hollick. We have featured speakers here as well that are the newest and upcoming experts in their respective fields. Our category sponsors this year are Josiah Beijing for business development, Michael D. Butler for author development, Eric Zuli for new media, Dr. Dante Sears for wealth mastery, health and wellness with Dr. Fitness, sales and lead generation with Eric Zuli, and spirituality with Dr. Lisa Brewer. And don't forget, when you upgrade to your VIP ticket, you will be supporting the Better Vision for Children Foundation. This is an amazing 501c3, all volunteer foundation that is helping to prevent and eradicate child onset blindness. And now, without further ado, sit back, relax, but also take out your pen and paper. Welcome to the Week of Kindness, January 2023. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Oh my gosh, day 3, Tony, day 3.
We made it this far.
We made it. There's like an old school gospel song that's something about we made it. I can hear it. I feel like it was like a Shirley Caesar. So I'm going to find it. I'll probably break out in song later on today. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, thanks. I'm sporting a new Wish blouse here. We got the butterflies for all my transformation folks who love butterflies, because every single logo we had to do there was a year where like everybody wanted a cocoon and a butterfly.
Yes.
So here we are. We have sprouted, guys.
There we go. Alive. We have sprouted.
Cocoons, they got wings.
Yes. Well, we've already had your talk air with Batista. That was just an amazing, oh my gosh.
I love her. I mean, yeah, she's energy, she's soul, and you can still see, the dancer's profile. I mean, I took dance for like 7 years, and she did flamenco too, like I did. So, I'm sure she was at a much higher level than I was.
Yeah, but what I love too about her is that I love how Dr. Fitness in general is just like, melding everything together, right? That connecting mind, body, and spirit in a real authentic way, but from their perspective of being the body sculptors, not the body snatchers, the body sculptors. And it was so enlightening. I'm going to have to go back and watch that again. Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be more people that are going to want to do that too.
But the gifts, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. It's $1,000 gift for, like 1/10 of the price. You guys, you got to go back and watch it. Don't miss out on Dr. Stephen or Batista, and that's Dr. What is it? Yeah,
Dr. Fitness. Dr. Fitness USA.
Dr. Fitness USA. I love it. They also have a Dr. Fitness International. So for all of you who are watching from other countries, we have 16 countries that are watching this show right now. Please tell your friends, tell your family. And these recordings are going to be up right now till February 2nd, right?
Yes. And then they come down.
Except for the VIPs. Yeah. The VIPs get it for the whole year.
The whole year, and access to the VIP only guests.
Exactly. And 10% of your VIP ticket goes to Better Vision for Children. So our goal is to
Yes.
raise $10,000. Folks, it's your turn. This is an incredible effort. I love the charity. I love what they do. And the crazy part is that so many children that have this disease, where like they can only see with one eye or see clearly with one eye, that kind of thing, it's completely reversible. It doesn't have to go to blindness. And if we just catch it in time by getting these vision test kits to the schools,
Yes.
that's like all we have to do.
Yes. Yes. And or to the parents' homes.
Yeah.
So right now in the chat, all across Facebook and YouTube, I am putting hashtag vision. I want everyone to put hashtag vision in the chat. Vision is so much. Think about if we're helping a child regain or clarify their vision.
Yeah.
A little church is coming out now, right? Clarify their vision. It's physically their vision, but metaphorically their vision of the world, the universe, the vision of themselves, and so that they can actually have a vision. I'm not going to start. If I start, I'm
I know, but we've got a super guest right now, so
Yes,
I'm not
we
like,
do. Yes, we
yeah.
do. So I'm going to bring to the stage Dr. Ann Katona Linn. I like to say that very succinctly and directly with my Wisconsin accent. We're going to bring Dr. Ann to the stage here, and Tony and Ann are going to have a great conversation together about quieting the stress storm in the classroom or the home.
Yeah.
While we're talking about children and vision, this is the perfect person to have. All right, Tony, I'm going to let you go. Okay, sis? I'll see you in just
All
a little
right.
bit.
See you at the back end. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Get some CB talk here going. Hello, Dr. Ed. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Welcome to the week of kindness and gratitude. This is your first time here, isn't it?
It is, and I just
Not the
love
last,
what you
not
do.
the last.
Definitely
Like,
not
you've
the
got
last.
a mission and
Yeah.
a vision that I absolutely love, and that's what enables us to pick your talk. So, guys, if you have a talk, if you have an idea, I mean, please submit the idea, because things like that are not only do we do it through referral, but we also do through submissions. That's how we select our speakers. But Dr. Ann, you are a passionate educational coach and a leader who dedicates like your life to helping this situation in schools, make them safer, make them more welcoming, help the students. I'm stealing your thunder. Please tell us a little bit about what you're having fun with right now.
No, you're doing a great job. I work with schools mostly, and I've worked in communities, with families, with human resource organizations, and I help school leaders and also community leaders create environments that are not just safe and supportive for the kids, but also for the staff, for teachers, for school administrators, because they're all really stressed out. COVID just kind of threw things at us that we would have never known how to do. But it was kind of a blessing in that it brought so many of these things around, trauma and school mental health, and just challenges that schools have in general, as well as families, that it brought it to the forefront, so that we can't ignore this anymore. We can't act like it doesn't happen, and it's not something that if we just ignore, it'll go away. And so I really help schools create kind of that environment. And I do it through training and coaching and helping them to look at, what do they already have? How can they work smarter with what they already have? And then what are the gaps for filling in some of those holes? And so they just help to create that environment and break down silos. I'm a silo buster. One of my nicknames is also Spider Woman, because I love to connect the dots. Schools often have so many different things, and they're not always communicating with each other because they have different mandates and different things that they have to do. So I help them to kind of stop and look at, what is it that we're doing well? What are those things that are working? So
Right. So we've had, excuse me, a huge transition happening. in 2020 with the pandemic, of course, the kids were sent home. The
Yeah.
parents were sent home. And all of a sudden you've got this brand new family dynamic that existed when boomers were around, you know? And I don't think that a lot of the Gen Xers and the Gen Zs and even the, the next generation, whatever the next one is, I don't think the millennials, I don't think they were ready for that. To get back home, to plan meals, to take care of homeschooling, to not go to work. So that was a containment unit of stress right there on both the kids, and they've never spent that much time at home with their parents, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of advice did you give families to help deal with that?
Yeah. Yeah. And I have 5 grandchildren, so I'm actually a Gen Xer with 6 older siblings that are boomers, so I can understand all of that. And one of the things is that it, families and teachers, one of the first pieces of advice that I have is that we have to put our own oxygen masks on, that we cannot help kids unless we do that, unless we take care of ourselves. And for me, I had childhood trauma that impacted me and really created a lot of challenge. I had full-blown PTSD, but I was a kid that I was an overachiever. I kept on trying to prove that there was nothing wrong with me. And, that's kind of how we did things. We just didn't talk about it, and we still do that. And so, adults looking at themselves and reflecting, and that's scary sometimes, but the more we can do that and say, you know what, I need to take care of myself, regardless of what your role is, that if we do that and put it into our schedule as though it's just automatic, it's part of our routine, that's the first step that we have to do. And sometimes it's as simple as just doing breathing exercises and modeling it, just saying, this is what I'm doing. You can just do basic breathing in and holding it and breathing out, just doing movement, something, and just having fun. I think there was so much pressure to teach kids. And yes, we want to make sure we're helping kids to continue to learn. But if we're not actually addressing those social emotional needs of not just the kids, but the adults, there's no amount of learning that's ever going to happen. So it's take a break, take a breath. Let's stop and just make sure we're taking care of ourselves and having fun. So really, really, really powerful, and those are easy to do. It's just, I've had to give people permission to do that. So that's kind of one of that first piece of advice that I always give.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let me ask you this. So now you're kind of coming back over and you're helping the schools, and you've got multiple awards for doing that, and multiple certifications for doing that. So now that kids are back in school, by the way, did you find that they were like excited to get back to school?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And teachers were too, because they were struggling with doing virtual learning and they missed their colleagues, so
the interaction was important. And I saw that on my grandkids as well. It's like, hey, we're back.
Yeah.
I'm away from mom and dad now.
My mom and dad are driving me nuts. Yes. And the parents were very happy too. So I've definitely.
That's true. That's true, because I mean, for so many of them, they the layoffs, that was the fear, is if the company's been without me for a year, do they still need me?
Yeah.
So you wrote a book called Shedding.
Yep. Shedding Lies, Living Beyond Childhood Trauma. And it really is. So this book will be coming out in probably the next few weeks. And because of my own childhood trauma and the fact that I didn't, like I said, I grew up in the 70s. We didn't talk about things. And so if we just ignore things and don't really look at what's going on, we can't really address those things. So this is my story of how how trauma impacted me. What are the things that helped? What are the things that didn't help? And then it follows my journey as it impacted me throughout my life, and those things that then led me to my career, because I became a teacher, I became a behavior analyst. I wanted to learn how to help kids like me, and I got those kids who were struggling with the challenges and with the emotions and behaviors. I just understood them because I remember my story really like it's a movie. I remember it really well. So the people who helped me, and then the things that I learned along the way, the lies that I told myself and that I bought into, and then what the real truth is. So it's led me to then help adults, because what I realized is that the adults, colleges don't necessarily teach a whole lot around mental health and trauma and even behavior management and problem behaviors. There's not as much as people would think. And so I've been very busy helping to support the teachers because I've been in that role as well. And I recognized how, I had that gift of actually understanding the kids and kind of understanding what they needed, so that then I can also connect with the adults, because I was in that role, and bridging that so that they had the tools to be able to support the kids. Because that's one of the things my family, and not just my family, society, we didn't talk about things. So people didn't have tools. A lot of adults do not have the tools to really be comfortable talking about some of these things. And it's not always just talking about your struggles. It's also learning skills to cope, and how to have communication much more effectively, how to manage our own emotions, and how to set goals for ourselves so that we're constantly improving. So that was really,
So
that
I
was
have
pretty
a couple of
powerful.
questions for you. I mean, I understand what you're saying. And by the way, I don't know if it's inherent with the placement of the child in the family, but I was number three, and I've always heard the number threes are always like never good enough, always trying harder, trying to be the best, trying to get noticed. You know?
Middle
Uh,
child. Yeah.
you see that, right? You
Yes.
see
Oh,
that?
yeah. My husband would tell you the same. He's a third child.
Yeah, because I had two older siblings, and I was like, my little brother and I like couldn't get a word in edgewise. It was hopeless.
Yes. Yes.
But but I guess what I'm saying is, how do you, if you're walking into a school with 3,000-4,000 strangers, how do you know, even as a teacher, who is like the prime candidate, the group A for what you're talking about, PTSD, childhood trauma, all that? What are
Mm.
the symptoms?
So some of the things now, there's a range of symptoms, but and I don't really train people on diagnosing. I help them to look at what are those red flags. So
Yes.
it
Mhm.
could be, we could see problem behaviors. It can be anger. It can be verbal outbursts. It can be even just kind of physical, getting too close to other people, invading other people's space, being physical, pushing, shoving, any of those things. That a lot of times it could be bullying, that
Yeah.
we often think are, oh, those are rites of passage. That's part of being a kid. It's just that, again, we don't really know. From my perspective, I was much quieter. I was an internalizer, and I mean that in a way of, my emotions were hidden behind a lot of things. Like perfectionism is a huge thing that I've struggled
Mhm.
with my entire life. And I had to give myself a break. And I always, again, being the youngest of seven, all
Oh
of my
my
older,
goodness.
yeah.
You beat me by a mile.
And I have six siblings that are in 8 years. And then I'm 8 years younger from the youngest. So obviously I was not expected. And my older siblings were all babysitting me. They would have to take turns babysitting me. So that was kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And they were teenagers. They
Yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't expect them to be able to know what to do or to
They got
want
to the point where their parents needed help, and the kid and I made that mistake as well. My eldest daughter was like, "I didn't want to babysit. I was in high school." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"And I was working an hour away from you."
Yeah, yeah, and it's difficult, and so we don't realize that it's important for us to make sure that it's really just about the relationships and helping kids to feel safe. But,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, for me, I really struggled with I always felt that everything that I did was wrong. So I had to,
Yeah. Been
and I
there.
yes. So we may
Yeah.
see a lot of kids even, the anxiety, that internal anxiety can actually lead to illnesses. So we may see more kids, saying that they're not feeling well. That I
Mhm.
remember that I would be happy for a sick day because my mom would have to stay home from work to be with me. And
Oh,
I,
nice.
again, I kind of
Yeah.
crave that. And we say, "Oh, they just want attention." Well, yes,
Yeah,
but
but they need
it's
it.
deeper. There's something deeper, we can't just ignore
Yeah.
that. Why do they want attention? And what can we do about it? So we
Well,
all
and what's funny is that as a boomer, especially with the women's movement, and you were born in the '70s. I was graduating high school in the early '70s. So from there, came the eternal struggle that I felt we had gone much further ahead, and we still haven't.
yeah.
But there was you had to pick work or family at a point in your life, right? And
Mhm.
so and I make light of it, but it was really quite painful. I mean, the first 2 kids, like, I was never there. I was always working. If I didn't work, there was no food on the table, and we all struggled.
Mhm.
And I was late picking them up from school. I missed their plays, that kind of thing. The
Yeah.
next 2 are like, "Mom, go away. You've been here too much. Just go away." And I'm like, "There's what do I do?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So and you can't win. There's no book on
Right.
parenting where you can win, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it's, each child is different on
Yeah,
how much they want, and it's my mom actually our mom, she was amazing in that she did work, and they actually had a newspaper article because she was kind of a wo an I was born in actually '66, but a woman in the '70s
yeah,
working full time.
yeah,
She
yeah,
actually did a job. She ran a swim program at a local amusement park that was, tremendous. So she was actually able to bring her kids with her, and then
yeah.
she was a swim coach. So I was on her swim team. I dove for her. So she always had me with her, which was a huge
Nice,
benefit. So,
nice.
that was really
That
amazing.
worked.
Yeah,
That
it
worked.
did.
Yes. Yeah.
It did.
That's
So I did have easy access to her. Now, she
yeah.
was not always able to give me the attention that she needed. I don't,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
I had so many other people. It's when we did have a village to raise us. There were so many other families. I have
Yeah,
so many other parents that were helpful. So
yeah,
it's a different time. And I think that's, that isolation and not being able to connect with other families was
yeah.
so difficult with COVID. And so
Oh,
being
yeah.
purposeful about
Absolutely.
that and just
Yeah,
saying it's it's not just about let's getting things done and going through a task list. We
yeah,
need to let some things go and say, let's focus on our relationships and
yeah.
having fun, and some of the things are just gonna have to come off our plate because we are way too hard on ourselves. And that's a hard lesson that I had to learn. And
Yeah.
so, and I still
And
do, you know?
yeah, and what's interesting is that we're going through, your story and how you created this entire business by going through, what you went through and how what you did to fix it because you found a solution. It's so many people are
Mhm,
still striving to find that.
mhm.
But I'm gonna go with the elephant in the room if it's okay with you,
Absolutely.
especially after this week. I've heard so many parents say, "I am afraid to send my child to school." There, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Eh,
Yeah.
yeah. So how do you deal with that, and how do you help those kids and parents?
Yeah. And I just in the last several years, up until about 2018, I was a state project director for Safe Schools, Healthy Students that came out of the Sandy Hook and the Columbine shootings. And that was everything that we did was around how can we focus on preventing this and creating those environments. And then when that grant was over, that's what led me to do what I do now is I'm helping schools directly because I found that at the state level, I was too far removed. And so I work directly with the schools. And it's not just about talking to families about helping them to feel safe. It's really, we have to think about creating that kind of a web or an infrastructure that supports all of those things. That's part of the problem is that we're not always communicating. So one of the first things that I help schools do is really set up communication plans, because that alone, when we're communicating with people and letting them know what is going on and giving them training, sometimes it's just that understanding of what trauma is and what you can do about it. But having a transparency and having schools say to the families, look, we're committed to doing this. We don't all really, we're in uncharted territory in many ways. We want to work with you so that we can help you feel safe sending your kids to school, because that is, and also offering alternatives such as virtual learning. And I know a lot of schools have done that. They've created more opportunities, not just sending kids out to cyber schools, but they're creating cyber learning in their programs. So they're definitely, because there are a lot of kids that really thrived on being at home. But it's about creating a community, and that doesn't happen overnight. But at the same time, let's start with communication, and let's start with again, it's back to the relationships. If we focus on building relationships between all the people, between the school and families and the community, and everyone work together. So, again, when I look at working with the school, it's not just the school, it's not just the school district, it's their entire community, and bringing people together. So I do a lot of focus groups and say, what are your needs? It's people need to feel heard. And that's another piece. If people feel safe, seen, and heard within their community, that's going to help break down the walls. It's not going to break down everything, but that's a start. So that's a big piece of what I do in the very beginning is let's just talk to people. Let's find out what's going on and find out what their concerns are, because they're valid. And we need to make sure we're not just saying, we're going to ignore what you said and we're just going to keep pushing on, because that's just going to elevate people's anxiety. So
that makes so much sense. So basically, you come into a school and then you start the assessment, and then you start the plan of action. So what does that look like? How does somebody get a hold of you? And I know we've got gifts and offers to talk about, but I really want to understand, how do people find you, and then where do they go from there?
Yep. So I have a website, and it's KatonaLinnConsulting.com, and people can reach out to me there. And I'm also on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and people can all reach out to me. I have an author page as well as I have my own personal, and I have a lot of things that I try and share, but people can reach out to me that way, and I'm pretty much I'm the only person. I have a virtual assistant. So you're much more likely going to get me. I'm going to move to having more people so that I can really, and getting coaches. I'm getting coaches to expand what I'm doing, because there's such a need. And so,
I can totally see you as a certification program. Absolutely.
Yeah. And a train the trainer, and a coaching program. And so families can reach out to me if they feel that their school needs some support. If there are members that are school boards, school leaders, teachers, anyone, just, you can reach out to me, and I can, we can have a free coaching call and just find out what is it that you're looking for, and see if I can, if I would be able to work with you, or like I said, back to the spider lady, I have other groups of educators who, have expertise in different areas that I want us to bring everybody together. So we, again, breaking down those silos. So that's, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I do have other resources on my website as well.
Right. And I kind of hone in on saying, it's me and my VA, because I was exactly there. I could see where you're going to go pretty quickly here. So, but I was exactly there until I started noticing that I could never keep up. This is your next step, Dr. Ed. I could never keep up with my emails. And then when it started hitting 20 and 30,000 unread on a weekly basis, I said, okay, now it's time to get some systems in place.
I'm there.
You're there right now. I know.
Yes.
So that is, it's funny how we evolve and our businesses evolve, which means we're doing something right.
Yeah.
And so that's where I want to go with this, because a lot of our audience are authors, speakers, healers, coaches, and some are looking for, things that they can be certified in. Some are looking for referrals, JV partners, joint venture partners, and affiliates. So for those people in the audience, what do you recommend? How can we help you get referrals? What kind of person are you looking for? And if we have connections, we can send them to you. How do we help you?
Yeah. So thank you. I think, again, teachers or school leaders or school board members or families, if if you're hearing what I'm talking about and think that our school needs this bad, they need help. And so, any of those people, I specifically work mostly with school leaders. They're the ones that are, so I may be connected with other people, but I try to get to the school leaders because they are the decision makers, and they are also the ones who can identify if there is funding to support. And there's a lot more funding out there, which is kind of why I've been really busy. And so, so there's a good problem. And so I help school leaders. They are the ones that I probably, focus on the most. And I've got several different programs. I have teacher trainings that I have, like around classroom management and trauma-informed classroom, or really building resilience and socio-emotional wellness. I have staff wellness. So it's about creating, not just here, go ahead and do yoga. It's about how can we create the infrastructure to support this so that it's ongoing. And I do the same with school leaders. And so, like I said, if you are anyone, and if you have some things that you think would be very beneficial for me to share with schools, like I'm absolutely wanting to become more of an affiliate so that I can share, it's that connecting the dots and helping schools and communities. So I work a lot with United Way, other nonprofit organizations that can, help with connecting the dots. So those are just some of the ways, and you can always refer people to my website. And I love strategic partnerships. I love collaborating. Love it. So
that's the best way for us to grow. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Oh, and if you're interested, because my book is about to come out soon, I'm getting people for my launch team. So if you are interested, you can go onto my website. I have an author page, and you can sign up, or on Facebook, and you can sign up to be on my launch team. You would get access to the book in advance. And there are some prizes that we're going to be sharing, as we have an event coming up later in February. Once I get my final book launch date, then I will book that. But we're going to do an event, and I'll be doing a lot more live events with the book. So
yeah, they're opening back up, and I look forward to meeting you and sharing a glass of wine with you on one of these live events. We gotta get played here.
That would be awesome. I'd love it.
Doctor, and so we do have a gift giveaway, and you have a gift for everyone So, folks, remember that the reason that you get a free ticket is because of speakers like Dr. Ann, sponsors that we owe so much to for helping us get you. Well, basically, we've got about 1,600 free tickets, and so thanks to them. But we're also promoting a nonprofit called Better Vision for Children, and 10% of every single one of your VIP tickets, which is only $97, goes to Better Vision for Children. And on top of that, you get access to recordings, to gifts, and then you get the extra level of gift, the VIP gift for only the VIP ticket holders. And you get to watch us for a year, and you can take notes and be as slow and deliberate as you want to be. You don't have to hurry through every episode to take notes. So, Dr. Ed, go ahead and tell me what your gift for everyone is.
Yes. So my free gift is the 3 ultimate strategies to quiet the stress storm in your classroom. And it can apply at home because it's really about what are some of those things that you can do no matter what the environment. But this one is for the classroom. Same things apply at home.
Thank you. That sounds wonderful. You guys, you need to download that. And then you've got a VIP gift.
Yes, that one is healing after crises. What's the secret sauce? And so that is a class that I've done, and the handouts, as well as there's a free coaching call, and also access to my book that will be coming out. So all of those things are part of the VIP.
So, folks, what we do in the Week of Kindness and Gratitude is we want to introduce you to some phenomenal folks out there who spend their lives taking care of others and helping the world be a little bit better. Dr. Ann is a perfect example of one of our speakers and one of our mentors. So, if you have heard enough and you are ready to talk to Dr. Ann right now, Dr. Ann, what would be your offer to them?
It is just reach out, and you have a lot of things that you already have in your toolbox, and I can help you to really connect the dots and make it work much more effectively. So just thank you so much for being a part of this.
No, that's perfect. So you guys, you need to get a hold of Dr. Ann. You need to download her gifts. You need to upgrade to a VIP. That's easy. Easy peasy. 1, 2, 3. And then you need to find out how you can help and how we could work with Dr. Ann. Dr. Ann, thank you so much. Dr. Lisa's back. I'm surrounded by doctors. Dr. Ann, last words that you'd like to leave the audience with.
Just always remember to put your oxygen mask on first.
Love it. Thank you all. So on to the next episode. We've got a full day packed for you. So you can still watch the episodes from the last couple of days. And then we're revving up to hit our goals in terms of attendees. Please tell your family and friends. Please let them know we're here and share it. It's free.
Yes, it's lovely. It's free. It's fabulous. So I think we have another speaker coming up. And I'm going to drop the link to that talk right here. It's about to come on, but you wanted to give us a quick insight, a quick intro to Jay.
Oh gosh, yeah. Good. Did you give him the link already?
No, hang on. I got to get you back. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There you go. I'm going to drop the link now, but go ahead, dear.
Don't you love it when we just kind of move around like musical chairs? All right. Oh, folks. So we have absolutely loved having you here with us. We're hitting our numbers. We still need a little bit of help. And folks, if you have friends who are like, how do I get there? Please go to eventraptor.com and you'll see the events. We're the top of the page because this is happening right now. Eventraptor.com will take you to the page so you can register, get your free tickets, look at the rest of the speakers. We've got some amazing folks still coming up. Jay Fairbrother is coming up in just a little bit. He's one of my wonderful friends. And when you hear what he does for people, I think you're going to love him. So Jay is coming up. We've got Darren Adams coming up. He's one of our title sponsors for the program Keep, which is an infrastructure CRM, a customer relationship management tool that is far above so many others, and so many coaches and teachers and authors, they're all using it. So you might want to find out why. That's coming up later on as well. And then we've got, oh my gosh, we've got Tina Lewis is coming up as well too. She's a phenomenal speaker, and she does global women. So you've got to hear that. She's an international superstar. So you absolutely want to see that. So anyway, as the day goes through, we've got some amazing stuff for you. For those of you who can't remember Event Raptor, just go to weekofkindness.com. So the number one question I'm being asked, Dr. Lisa, is how do I see what's going on? Where do I go?
Yeah, Event Raptor is going to be the best bet. Week of Kindness is fine as well because you're going to get to register, and that's where it's super easy to find the gifts and the links and the offers and everything there as well. And we have a broadcast page on Week of Kindness as well.com. So, listen, guys, you're going to find us somewhere. It'll be just fine. But Event Raptor is going to be the closest thing. We better get going because we're already running a little bit behind schedule. I'm trying to keep everybody on track. Good. So we're doing Jay Fairbrother is up next. I'm about to put his video up and out. And what's also about to happen right after that, then I'm coming back and I will get to introduce to you my dear friend, present to some, introduce to others, as they used to say in the church, my dear friend, Josiah Beijing. So guys, sit back, relax. We're going to have a great time, and I'm going to do this here, and we're going to get going here. Hang on one second. I got to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to go and save. And all right, guys, we'll see you guys soon, okay? Bye.